Hey everybody, Mark over here at Twanger's Turntable. Long time no see. Yeah, I know, it's been a few minutes. First off, let me say a happy Father's Day to all my buddies in the VC, all the viewers, everybody who stopped by at Twanger's Turntable throughout my existence. Happy Father's Day to you or your loved ones, however that may apply to you. Appreciate you stopping by. So get that out of the way. Happy Father's Day. It is Father's Day. And like I say, I haven't done a video in a few minutes. So let's say a cheers. Let's get started the right way. Let's do this properly because it has been a while. So I'll slow down, take a breath. Everybody else, chill out for a second. I hope everybody's doing good. So the reason I'm jumping on here, I've had many reasons that I've wanted to jump on here over the past few weeks. But just haven't had the time. Bottom line, you know, I do my short videos, and that's about all that time will permit me to do presently. That's just the way it is. I don't sweat it. I don't dwell about it. It's just a fact of life. But I'm glad to be here today. I do watch other VC members and see what they're keeping up to and stay in touch as best I can without it being in person. But I don't keep up to anybody on YouTube in person anyway. I don't know anybody locally. That's just not my bag. Whatever, it's fine. But I do keep up on the videos. And so I've been watching videos, and one such video, which is the reason I'm here today, was by George G. Over at George G's Room of Hard Rock, I think it's called. Let me put my cheaters on. I should know that. Yeah, George G's Room of Rock. George is all over the place. I've been watching George for probably a couple of years, I think. And I've watched some videos recently where this is in recognition of George's milestone of reaching 1,000 subs. Now he's over 1,000 at this juncture, but that's amazing milestone, George. Congratulations! I said it before. That's fantastic, buddy, and well deserved. I really dig the stuff that you show, and it's not just about what we show. It's the manner in which we do it, I guess. And I really kind of relate to you in many ways. I think I'm very similar. I'm all over the map, but my preferences are always metal and hard rock. And admittedly, I've said many times, I pretty much dig everything, or can at least appreciate something in everything. I may not spin it frequently, but I do appreciate it. And speaking of which, anybody who's been watching my shorts can see that I'm kind of having a bit of I do have a fondness for some of that early 80s new wave pop stuff, just because of the age I was then, 14, 15. I was really into the hard rock metal, but I did have friends that, and the school dances and that's what would be playing. So when you listen to that, there is memories associated with that, of course. I mean, music is like no other time machine. It's the only time machine we have. You put something on, it takes you right back to certain moments. So I've been doing a little bit of the new wave pop stuff in my shorts. It's just fun. So I digress. George, if you've not been over to George's channel, please just stop right now. Get over there and check him out. Sub him up. Great dude, like I say. And so he's celebrating his milestone of 1,000 subscribers. And it's a contest. Off the top, I'll just say, George, I'm just doing this because I want to support your channel. Whatever prizes are, I don't even recall what the prizes were. And hopefully I even get the criteria right. I think you just wanted us to spell 1,000 with records, either the band name, the album name, or the song title. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if I got it all wrong and completely butchered it, so be it. But this is just about supporting your channel, buddy. So, and then a few shout-outs. I've got plenty of shout-outs. Shout-outs are always the most difficult part, because I don't want to single anybody out, but yet in doing so, inevitably, it feels like I'm leaving someone out, and that's the inherent factor in doing this. But I'm going to do it for the sake of George and his contest. So let me put my cheaters on, and we'll get going at this. So the first word is 1 in 1,000. So I went with, and the other thing I'm doing here, it's not all metal. I thought about going all metal, all hard rock or something like that. What I decided to do was just go with all Canadian rock, just right across the board. And so these are all Canadian titles. I'm fairly certain George will be familiar with all of these. I think that's safe to say. There's nothing obscure here, in my opinion, even if they are up here in the north, you know, miles away from civilization. First one I went with, one of my faves, and many of these are going to be ones I've shown lots of times just because they are my faves, many of my faves from growing up, and even to this day I still listen to them. But April Wine, Stand Back, and I'm going with the song title on this one, and it's Oh What a Night. And I mean, what better? I mean, the first time I heard that as a kid with that bell kicking off, ding, 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 it's just, yeah. You'll know it if you know it, and if you don't, you should check it out. So, Oh What a Night for the O. And to go with the N, another Canadian. They're all Canadian. I'm going to stop saying that. Triumph. And Never Surrender. So this is probably, I think, not, I don't think it's Rick Emmett's last one, his second last. This is kind of where they started going a direction that I wasn't particularly into. I do dig this album, but this is probably the last one. What was the next one after this? Sport of Kings, I think. It's okay, but it's just not my thing. And I'm going to stop commenting so much on these records or I'll be here all friggin' day. Next one is another band out of Canada. They're all out of Canada. Jesus Murphy. Toronto, Even the Score. So O-N-E. E, Even the Score. Just a kind of a rock band out of Canada here. Most people would probably know them from their Get It On Credit album, where they had Your Mama Don't Know What Your Daddy's Doing, whatever it is. I don't even know. It wasn't into that. But the first couple albums were really good. And then I think they had one after that. But did I do that right? Yeah. So this is T for 1,000. So I did one. This is the T for 1,000. And the title of the album is Turn It Loud. The lead off track, the title track, Turn It Loud by the Headpins. H, another Helix, and Heavy Metal Love. This would have been most people would credit this as being their first album. It's their first on a major label, but they had a couple of albums before this. But yeah, Heavy Metal Love. Next is On the Loose by Sega. Worlds Apart, the album. The song is On the Loose, lead off track on that. A very popular track, I would suggest. Most people will be familiar with it. This one might be a little less unknown, but they are a good rockin' band, and they're kind of a love or hate band here in Canada, although they are probably, arguably, one of the biggest bands to ever come out of Canada. But yet, that's maybe not fair to say, because I don't think, well, I know they didn't have the international success as bands like Rush or Triumph or the Guess Who or, you know, Bryan Adams. You can go down the list, but certainly here they were probably the biggest band in the country for many years, and they're tragically hip. And so this is for the U. The album title is Up to Here. It's their second album, arguably. I mean, the first one was more of a EP, so the first full-length album, Up to Here. But really good. I mean, there's a couple of really, I like all the tracks on here, so just check it out. It's easy to find. Go on the device you're on right now. It's easy to check them out. Up to Here. Really some good rockin' tunes on there. This one is probably more internationally known, or at least back in the day. Tease. And certainly the title track, or the track I went with here for the letter S, is Sweet Misery. I mean, that was a fairly heavily played song back in the 70s on the radio. So that's Tease, Sweet Misery for the letter S. And then the title of the band for this one, I went with Anvil for A. Metal on Metal. I've also got the Forged in Fire, and what was the other one? Jesus, having a brain cramp right now. That's okay, I'm not going to stop it. Just A, Anvil. And then for N, I went with another one of those huge bands, and pretty much the holy trinity of Canadian bands, in my opinion. The three-piece that is known as Rush. And yeah, New World, man. Where I can't even see the titles. yeah, the second track on side 2 of the LP anyway. New World Man from Signals, Rush, and then finally the D in 1000, and it's the debut from Loverboy. This is a pretty good rocking album. I like this. I don't like all of Loverboy, and they really dropped off for me, you know. But DOA, it's just a really good album. It's just more raw, less produced, I guess, or at least not overly produced. The sound is very, I don't know, it just seems more authentic to that period of time. It captures that period of time in music, I think. Where these guys were going to be rock or new wave, they weren't really sure, but they really capture a lot of those elements in this. And but there's some good rocking tunes on here, and DOA is one of those. So that's it. So that's the spelling portion of George's contest here of 1000. So to go with a few shout-outs, like I say, there's so many. I don't want to come across as though I'm trying to well, I'm not. I'll just tell you, I'm not trying to alienate anyone or leave anyone out. I just had to pick a few. So I'm going to go with a couple of new ones. They're not necessarily new to me. And certainly one of them was absent for a while, and I see he's back, and I just saw a couple of his videos on the weekend here. So it's Christian, and his new channel is Front to Back Vinyl. I like that. That's a good title. I mean, he was saying on his video how when I put a record on, I'm not skipping songs and you know, playing aside and putting it away. I play both sides. I put the record on and then I flip it and put the other side on. So it's front to back, both sides. Welcome back, Christian. Hope you'll hop on this and head over to George's channel here and jump on the contest and subscribe. Next one is Ed. Ed's Den of Metal. Now, I've seen Ed for a while. He's typically on the Friday night stream with Patrick and the boys. John and Vance is on there sometimes, and Steve, Harmless Rebel, some of those other guys. So, you know, Ed, I think, has been around for a while, but I think his channel is relatively new. So it's Ed's Den of Metal. So go over there, and I think he's another guy that has a lot in common with my musical background or my musical preferences growing up in the early 80s with the new wave of heavy metal, British heavy metal, and hard rock, all that. So, but I don't want to pigeonhole anybody here. This is just, you know, how I relate to them. It's not necessarily what they're limited to doing. Check them out for yourself. And then my regular guys that I listen to I watch frequently. Steve, A is for Alice, B is for Bob, C is for Chicago or whatever. Trevor, Flat Round and Spun, Anthony, Gambler 812, Mike, MGK Boston, Gary, Physical Format, Rock and Roll, Aaron Muth Alamir, man, is one of the first channels I ever watched and has been a huge inspiration for me. Craig, Spirit of Vinyl, you know, another guy I really relate to with his musical interests. Oh, Brett, of course, Brett, George mentioned Brett, Headbanger's Closet. Who else here? Oh, Mickey Maffei. Just a phenomenal guitar player and member of the vinyl community, YouTube and large. Vance, the Zep Pearl channel at the Zep Hangar. Jack, the CD Cave, he's here in Canada. I think he's down in Cornwall. I believe he's in Canada here anyway. And there's actually a pretty decent record store I found down in Cornwall. It's really like it, Buds. Who else do I got there? Ryan, fairly new channel to me, but Rye By. Watched some of his channel, and he's reciprocated by, you know, commenting on some of mine. So just a few shout outs, but mainly the thing is go over to George's channel and spread the shout outs, you know, support the other people in the vinyl community. It's an awesome community, as George related to. You know, when I started my channel, much the same, was no aspirations of doing anything large. It was just a method for me to just share my musical interests and my records and stuff like that. That to me, I was kind of getting back into at the time. You know, it's been a few years now. Well, it's only been, I think, about 3 years since I started my channel, but I've been back into the vinyl scene for a while. But yeah, I never really had much expectations anybody would watch, and it's just amazing that people do watch. I appreciate you for doing so. Early on, you figure, you know, just some of your friends and family might see it, but to fathom, you know, 1,000 people, you know, actually subscribed and people watch all the time. That was certainly never in my expectations or realm of what I thought would happen. And just some really cool people that you meet along the way. So that's it. That's why I want to jump on here. There's a lot of great threads going on. And, you know, you pull me back into it every freaking time, you guys in the VC, with your threads and contests. Just when I think, okay, I'm going to get around to showing some of the records that I've purchased the last, well, 6 months or more that I haven't had a chance to show. I've showed some on my live stream, but that's not the broad audience that, you know, this tends to garner. So I'll just pause it for a minute. I'll show you. I just want to show some of my records, and I hope to do that soon. So yeah, I've got a stack of records here that I've, you know, picked up either new or used, and a few of them I actually found a guy on Discogs, which I mentioned before. I don't normally do. It's very rare I do that, but he had some really great records at really great prices. So anyway, that's what I'm hoping to do, is go through this stack here and probably do a couple of videos on that. I'm not going to try and squeeze it all into one. So yeah, there's that. So there you go. That's kind of what I've been hoping to get to, but always get dragged into doing something else, which is fine. I really dig this, and if I had more times, there's definitely some more time. There's some threads I'd like to jump onto, including the aforementioned Brett. He was doing a thread. I think Steve was doing a thread for Scott. God, jeez, Scott over at Zero Solutions, or No Solutions. He's doing a thread for that one. I was afraid to do one for that, but it's just about physical. Check it out. Check out Scott's channel too. I'll leave links to the shoutouts, so it's easy to do. All you have to do is click on the link. But I'm going to leave it at that. Again, cheers everybody, all my buddies in the VC. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, whether it's for humans or otherwise, four-legged creatures, you name it. Legless creatures, I don't know if they slither around or what the hell, but happy Father's Day to everybody. Enjoy your day. Thanks again for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I would like to do this more often, but hey, I'd like $1 million too, but that's not just going to fall in my lap. But yeah, I'll try and get back here a little more often. Well, I do try, but no promises, no promises. Don't make promises. Don't write checks that your ass can't cash. But I will be back soon, I anticipate. It's summer. I don't have the kids as much right now. But anyway, that's all it is. Grandkids, that is. My oldest guy is old enough to have kids, so I'm a granddad. Leave it at that. Thanks, everyone. Go over to George's channel there, George G's Room of Rock. As I mentioned, I'll leave links for everything here below. And congratulations once again, George. That's an amazing milestone, dude, and well-deserved. I've watched many of your videos that I really enjoy, and so I hope others will do the same. I'll leave it at that. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon here at Twanger's Turntable. Cheers, everyone.